The best start in life means a good education. Good education means a good school. And a good school necessarily means a learning environment in which children can thrive. Tiverton High School in my constituency should not be an exception, but because of the decisions of continuous governments, it has been so. I wish to focus my remarks today on the plight of Tiverton High School in my constituency, and perhaps it will serve as a microcosm to which other members may well relate in the communities they represent. Upon visiting Tiverton, one could be forgiven for being sucked into a sense of complacency with the rolling hills and period buildings in and around the area. But hidden there are serious pockets of deprivation, economic and social poverty, and you can feel it. Madam Deputy Speaker, Tiverton High School has been promised a rebuild since 1999. That's 26 years. Yes, 26 years. And time after time, successive administrations of different stripes did not deliver, reneging on these promises. Since my arrival in this place, I have pushed relentlessly to secure concrete commitment on Tiverton High School's rebuild. On this, I was filled with a sense of optimism, because in November last year, the Department for Education confirmed Tiverton High School's inclusion in the school rebuilding programme, with wet work set to commence, and I quote, as early as April 2025. Finally, it seemed, government had grabbed the nettle. Finally, it had heeded the cause, for they had grown impossible to ignore. It was going to happen, I thought. Perhaps this was it. It is true that the long-standing promises of a rebuild, only to dissipate each time, has meant that Tivy High, as we affectionately call it, saw routine maintenance and refurbishments fall by the wayside. A culture of keep calm and carry on set in, with the anticipation that the cavalry, or the diggers, would arrive to get the rebuild underway. Their 1970 sports hall is riddled with asbestos, rendering it entirely unusable for many months of the year and depriving students of essential physical education. And to make matters worse, the school was built on a floodplain, a crucial detail which is blithely skipped over and which was not acknowledged in the pre-assessment conducted by the Department for Education. The Environment Agency has reported the regular flooding of multiple school buildings to be a risk to life, particularly if you are under 5 foot. Utter madness in 21st century Britain. The school is dilapidated, not an environment at all conducive to learning. Instead, such an environment leads pupils to feel unnurtured, thrown onto society's scrap heap and simply forgotten about. What kind of message does that send to children? If the Department of Education rose back on the promise of a rebuild, it would not just be a political misstep, it would see a whole community shunned again. It would be a cruel volte-face. To be clear, we are talking about the hope of a community strung along for a quarter of a century, reduced to a line in a ministerial briefing. Madam Deputy Speaker, they say politics is the art of the grey, and I will not walk away empty-handed on this. I am absolutely sure of that. The community needs this pledge, after all these years, to be honoured. Thank you.